Give us 30 minutes and we'll give you a guest about giving. Meet him. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at family-owned and operated Ace Hardware in Northwood Plaza between 76th and 79th Avenues North on Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on upcoming National Philanthropy Day, and we're visiting with the Vice President of the Coastal Chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals, Gregg Watters. Good morning, Gregg.
Well, good morning to you, Greg, and thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. We're getting pretty close. November 15th. It seems like a long way off, but there's still quite a bit that has to be done over the next couple of months.
Oh, my goodness, yes. We are scampering, trying to make sure that we get a good mailing list, that we get the right people who are nominated for the awards, that we get sponsorships. But it's moving, Greg, and we're excited about it.
And this is the first annual here on the Strand.
First time we've ever had one. National Philanthropy Day has been around since 1986, but it's the first time for us because we're a brand new chapter.
Yes, yes, very exciting. That's right. We want to hear more about that. Real quick about yourself, Greg. Are you originally from the area?
I spent the last 20 years in Charlotte, where I was a hospital administrator.
Is that right?
And then for 20 years since that time, I've been a consultant helping hospitals set up foundations. And I worked with the Georgetown hospital system, fell in love with the Georgetown area, bought some property down here, and 3 years ago my wife and I realized our dream and moved down here.
Is that right? Entirely moved to Georgetown County?
We are here. We are here. We're part of it, and we love it.
Do you still have family or friends? I'm sure you've got a lot of friends in Western North Carolina or folks that remain in the Charlotte area. You were there, you said, 20 years.
20 years, yeah. My son and his wife still live there. My older son lives in Fayetteville, so we still have strong ties to North Carolina.
To the Tar Heel State.
To the Tar Heel State.
Of course, a lot of our viewers are in Robeson and Scotland County and parts of Columbus and even Brunswick County, so not too far from the Fayetteville area.
Not at all.
Good opportunity to get up and see them. And I think I saw you also had some ties even earlier to the Triad, and then before that, right after that, to the Triangle. So you covered three of the big TV markets in the Tar Heel State.
We did. I went to UNC Chapel Hill, and then did the unthinkable and went to Duke for a couple of years.
That was, yeah.
So I feel very close to the Triad area.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we think so much, and of course, being in hospital administration and spending that much time with the hospitals having such an impact on this area, whether it's Georgetown Memorial, obviously Conway Medical Center, Laura's healthcare system, Grand Strand Regional Medical Center, a lot that has to happen to keep hospitals going and growing even stronger.
The area down here is blessed in the sense that it's easier to get the physicians, to recruit physicians to this area because it's such a wonderful place to live.
Right.
So medical staffs are just the most important bottom line of a hospital. They've got to have those, and the hospitals down here have done exceptionally well with recruiting medical staff, and from there they go to excellence on their own.
You said formally setting up foundations within a hospital. Was that principally with community hospitals?
Yes.
You'd set those up?
Absolutely. It'll be the nonprofit hospitals.
Right.
And what we try to do is to develop a foundation board and a fundraising process that'll help them do things that are good medical care, but not necessarily going to be covered by inpatient costs.
Right.
For example, we built an Alzheimer's unit in a small town in Elkin that they've never been able to afford without that.
Is that right?
We provided free medical clinics in Elizabeth City for 25,000 people who could not afford medical care. And not only did we give them medical care, we gave them medication, which that's the big hooker. Nobody can afford it. And we were able to raise money for that. Foundations have a real strong role in the nonprofit world, especially for hospitals.
Yes. We've got Burns Massey coming in with us month after next, who heads up the Conway Medical Center Foundation, has been very active. And you hear about that. Last week we had a cardiothoracic surgeon in from McLeod up in the PD, and of course to hear him talk about the impact of so many things they do, not to take anything away from Carolina's hospital there in Florence, a for-profit hospital, but the two of them working in tandem can get a lot done.
And
get a lot done.
Yeah. our medical care system is able to deliver excellent care. There are gaps and there are financial problems with it, but bottom line, boy, can they give good medical care.
Yes, absolutely. Greg, what prompted you all in the area to found a local chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals?
We recognized there were 2 active chapters in South Carolina, one at Columbia, one at Charleston, but this area is growing so quickly and we have so many nonprofits that are here that it was time to put together a local chapter, which we call the Coastal Chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals. Put the chapter together. We only have 15 or 16 members right now.
Is that right?
We're growing, and we have lots of opportunities, and one of the things we want to do is to start by recognizing the people who have already been giving, the philanthropists. So that's why National Philanthropy Day is really important to us. We want to put together a program that will honor the good works of people who have been active in philanthropy for several years, but particularly in recent times.
The Coastal Chapter is encompassing, you said there's currently active chapters in the Charleston and Columbia areas, I think? So the Coastal Chapter is principally Horry and Georgetown?
Horry, Georgetown, and Marion.
In Marion County,
there are no strict limitations on where we can be, but we felt that there would be plenty of opportunities just in those 3 counties.
You know, we see the name, the Coastal South Carolina Chapter of the American Red Cross, and of course they serve Georgetown, Horry, but also Williamsburg County. So you mentioned Marion, and that's a very important county to think about and the impact that they've had. So many Marion folks have been moving down to Georgetown County, the Murrells Inlet area for years. So it's great to tie the 3 counties together, even open up some doors into Williamsburg County possibly.
We'd love that.
Some great opportunities over there. You know, when we think about groups like the Association for Fundraising Professionals, is this something that's been around a long time?
Actually, it was founded in 1960, and we have now 125 chapters.
Is that right?
Some 28,000 members. It was established to try to recognize that fundraising professionals need a code of ethics. They need ongoing in-service training. They need to be represented when it's time to start thinking about legislative rules and laws. So that's what our chapter does for us, and that's what our organization does for us. And I'm very proud of it. Very proud of the fact that they come in and say the donor has rights, and you better, as a professional fundraiser, observe those rights.
Right. I know you mentioned there are about 15 or 16 others that have helped get the, not without naming all names, how about some of the folks who are maybe even the executive committee, who are some of the folks that have helped get the ball rolling, like yourself, recognize this need?
Well, our prime mover is a gentleman named D.C. Dreger, and D.C. has been just so helpful in getting the ball rolling. Our current president is Don Hall, who's the executive director of the Boys and Girls Club.
Right, sure.
You mentioned Burns. Burns Massey is a member of our organization and working on my committee here.
Is that right? For National Philanthropy Day. Well, we'll have to tie that into this interview.
Oh, please do. And Carol Baudry, who is going to be on here later, the director of the Mercy Hospice, is a fantastic asset for us. Liz Mansfield from the Waccamaw Community Foundation.
Right, yes.
We've got some really energetic people who sit on our group, and particularly on that Philanthropy Day committee.
Sure.
I'm so proud to have them.
Sandra Cole from Horry Georgetown Technical College.
How could I have missed Sandra?
Right. That's such a great location. You know, I know I've seen some of the emails about some of the activities y'all are doing, and taking advantage of the Montrose, the conference room over there at the foundation office for Horry Georgetown Tech, which has got such a tremendous group, and they've ramped up so fast. Sandra in her role there, working formally in tandem with Gary Davis, who has since moved out of the area, was such a go-getter, and obviously Greg Thompson and the entire office, Colleen Neese over there. They're really working hard.
Sandra is a jewel. Just that's one of the nicest benefits is meeting people like this.
That should be her middle name, Greg. Yeah, you ought to give her that middle name.
Absolutely,
if she didn't have it. She ought to get that. Yeah. So National Philanthropy Day, that has, you said it's been around about 2 decades.
About 2 decades.
Okay.
First for us now, so we're plowing new ground here, but we have the resources of our national organization to fall back on. The Charleston chapter has been so helpful in helping us get moving on this. So we think that we've got lots of good resources to pull on, a great area to have this in, and we're looking forward to it.
And you've been involved with the Association of Fundraising Professionals in the Charlotte area when you were there prior to making Georgetown County home.
I have. So when I saw the notice that we were talking about putting a local chapter in, it just seemed like something that would be a natural.
So you've been involved in National Philanthropy Day before?
I have, not to the same extent. Being a smaller organization, we didn't have too many people to look around to when it was time to assign committee chairs to. So I got it this time, but it's been a good experience. Real good.
If a viewer needed to get off to work now, Gregg, or get family out of the house, is there a good phone number to call to learn more about possibly becoming a member, or a website if someone wanted to go online to learn about becoming a member? I hope I didn't put you on the spot, but
no, that's okay. Locally, I hope they would just call me.
Great.
That number is 843-235-2727.
Okay.
But the Association for Fundraising Professionals has an excellent website, and it's just afp.org.
afp.org. That is easy. www.afp.org. But for our viewers who can't take advantage of the internet or don't want to and would like to have a chance to talk to you, they just pick up the phone, 843-235-2727, 2727. That's great. Yeah. That's great. What would the steps be to become a member? If a viewer was interested, do you have folks that are not full-time fundraising professionals like yourself and so many of the other folks you mentioned?
Yeah, it's very easy. Anybody who is associated with it or feels that they need to learn more about it would simply go to that afp.org website. Membership applications are available. Or if they'd rather just call and come to a local meeting a couple times first, we'd love to have them.
Great thinking.
We meet monthly. We meet at the Horry Georgetown Technical College Foundation offices, and we would be delighted to have them. So if they'd give us a ring at the number I just mentioned, we would bend over backwards to have them come in, join us. We have monthly meetings, good discussions, always have somebody there who's going to bring us a new perspective on fundraising, and excellent meetings.
Wonderful, Gregg. How widespread is National Philanthropy Day? Do all of the chapters, I think you mentioned 125 chapters, do they all have active parts of National Philanthropy Day?
They do.
Wow.
They all jump in and do this. And Gregg, it's now in Mexico, Canada, and parts of Asia.
Is that right?
So we're not limited just to the United States.
Right. That's the great thing about afp.org on the World Wide Web. You can expand in even more countries and communities where they have philanthropists that are really making a difference. Day in and day out.
It's amazing, Gregg. In the United States alone last year, almost $300 billion was given away by people just like you and me. Most people give to 11 different charities every year. And you say, no, I couldn't have. But when you think about what you gave to your church, and you gave to your college, and you bought the donuts there, and you played in the golf tournament, and you gave the Girl Scouts $5 for the cookies, and before you know it, you did. You have given to 11 or 12 different charities.
Wow.
And that adds up. That's where 75% of that $300 billion comes from every year.
And you're using a B, not an M. $300 billion.
A B, yeah.
Wow. $300 billion across the U.S. only. Right.
Only.
Son of a gun. That's fantastic.
That's 2006 figures. I'm sure it's going to be going up again in 2007. But so many ways that we contribute make such a huge difference in the way our lifestyles are. Our health care is better, our children get fed, our schools are better, we can respond to emergencies like Katrina because of the generosity of people in our country.
Okay. Golly, Gregg, that is fantastic. I don't think I had any idea the numbers were that extensive, but you point out, and I know there's so many folks that give even more than that average when you think about all the different groups that will possibly contact you about doing things. And that's wonderful. And, of course, another big one is volunteer time.
Oh, yeah.
Folks find a way to give their time, much like what you all are doing, obviously all the non-paid, to get out there and to try to promote other fundraising, other philanthropists. But let's break down National Philanthropy Day, the one you all are planning. The date, you all have set a date.
November 15th, which will be the same date that's recognized in all AFC chapters across the country.
Great.
We're going to have it at the Horry Georgetown Technical College's Community Center.
Great. Very easy to find.
Very easy to find.
Oh, yeah.
The 15th, that's a Thursday, it'll be 12 to 1:30.
Okay.
And we would love to have people who are interested in philanthropy or tied into nonprofits in some way come join us for that day. It'll be a special day.
Fantastic. Are there sponsorship opportunities available, Greg? Does anyone, if a viewer's watching, is associated with a company that may be interested in possibly being a part of that day, or there's some different sponsorship levels?
Well, thank you for asking, Greg. Yes, we do have two major sponsorship levels. One is called our Heart of Platinum sponsorship level, and that's $5,000.
Okay.
That'll be our primary sponsor, and will certainly be given recognition for the good works that they're doing there. And then we have our Heart of Gold sponsor, and that's $2,500.
Okay.
And we can have as many of those as people would like to give.
Good, good. So there'll be one Heart of Platinum.
One Heart of
Platinum. But there could be multiple Heart of Gold. Great,
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah, and we'll have table sponsors. Table of 8 will be $240, or you can just buy individual tickets for $30.
Great. So $30 if a viewer possibly wanted to get out there. And, of course, we want to break down how it works locally. We got about 10 minutes, Greg, and I want to make sure viewers know what they can expect if they got out there to the community center there on Thursday, November 15th. But $30 for an individual. And you all will be selling not just couples, but individuals can come out.
Oh, yeah. Individuals come out. It is such a wonderful time for nonprofits who said, what a great time to honor my board member. Let's take that board member, or let's take our bigger donors and come out and show them what's going on in our community.
That's a great point. Say that again. That's a great point for someone who's watching who works in the nonprofit world to thank some of their active volunteers, to thank some of their active donors, to remind them that there's a lot of folks just like them out in the community making a difference every day.
Most of our members in our local chapter are planning on buying a table of 8 and then bringing their donors and their board members who have given so unselfishly to them.
That's a great idea.
Good chance to say thank you to them.
Yeah, particularly for something as reasonable as that. And the tie-in with Horry Georgetown Technical College and their tremendous culinary arts department, I don't know if they're involved, but being in that same facility there right next door, just knowing there could be an interface is a positive thing as well.
Well, Sandra's helped us with that.
Oh, yeah.
And she's touching all parts of the college over there to help make this a reality for us.
That's great.
We've been real fortunate.
Let's break down the day. If a viewer does possibly attend, or if they can't make it, what are they missing? If they're not in town on Thursday, November 15th, what do they need to make sure and get on their calendar for 2008?
You're exactly right. Well, we're going to give 3 different classifications. We're going to give a corporate fundraiser of the year, a corporate philanthropist of the year.
Corporate philanthropist of the year.
An individual philanthropist of the year, and a student philanthropist of the year.
A student philanthropist, wow.
And what we plan to do, in addition to the usual plaques and trophies, we're going to give each of them a check for $500 made out to the charity of their choice.
Great.
So they, even in winning their award, they keep on giving.
That is tremendous.
We hope to do that. We hope to bring in well-known guest speakers for this, get the community involved in the presentation, and try to do it upright. Try to recognize these people and these corporations for their good works, which they richly deserve, and encourage the rest of us to follow that lead.
Oh yeah. 2.5 months. You've essentially got about 10 weeks to keep planning, and a lot that has to happen over the 10 weeks. And as you said, locking down some of the speakers, making sure everyone's represented there. And you said they will actually be able to, the check they receive, they'll be able to give that back to the charity of their choice.
Isn't that nice?
That is wonderful.
That's a nice touch, and that's what the sponsorships help us with. Is the checks that we write. Makes a huge difference there.
Will they make the announcement on the spot of the charities? Is that right? Even better, of course.
We hope so.
That's wonderful.
That means we'll have to let them know a little bit in advance.
Yeah, a teensy bit. Make sure they're there, and of course the ability for them, as you said, with all the members of AFP, of the Association of Fundraising Professionals locally, having some of their, as you pointed out, some of their dedicated volunteers and donors with them. It'll be a great opportunity for them to see some other great charities highlighted. Yeah. That's wonderful.
And get them standing up there receiving that award for the following year.
Yeah, or the year after that, or the year after that. As you said, if this has been going on 20 years, there's some chapters that have been doing it just that long, and I'm sure they've recognized a lot. Have they always represented a corporate philanthropist, an individual, and a student philanthropist?
This is our initial effort. Sometimes the award list can be very long.
Right.
But we decided just to start with 3 categories. These were important to us. And individuals, because we have so many to choose from down here. The corporate, because they're so important to the overall impact of the community. And the students, because that's where our next generation is coming from.
Right. Greg, we got about 5 minutes. For a viewer who hears that word philanthropist, may not even know how to spell it, but they've heard it a lot of times. What does it take to become an outstanding philanthropist? What does that mean exactly? Just philanthropists in general, particularly the outstanding philanthropist for that day, November 15th, here locally.
No, that's a good question. All of us are givers in some sense. And we've all bought the Girl Scout cookies, or we gave to our church. But what does it mean to be truly outstanding? And that individual or that corporation or that student has not only given, but they've become involved in the project. They've seen a problem, they want to be part of the solution, so they give their time and their effort, and they get others to join with them to do that. And that takes it one step farther, Greg.
Right.
That's when you're head and shoulders above. You're outstanding in what you're doing.
It's potentially a tough question, but I want to ask you that on behalf of fundraising professionals. Is there an encouragement oftentimes to get a donor or philanthropist to more or less channel all of his or her energies into one nonprofit organization, or maybe a couple? Or is it better to continue, when you see folks supporting lots of nonprofit organizations, to have them do that? I mean, I'm sure some persons would love to just focus on one and really make a difference in the one that has impacted either them personally or their family members or loved ones' lives. But so oftentimes, as you said, if you're given to 11 on average, some people given to 18, some to 6.
Sure.
It is...
how do you focus them? The donor makes that decision, Greg. That's where their passion is. Obviously, we want to encourage it across the board.
Right.
One of the things we do in plan giving is just make people aware of how you can donate your assets after your death.
Right.
And that doesn't have to be just to one charity. That can be to 2 or 3. The idea is, though, to keep it working, make your life more significant, make a difference even when you're not here. But sure, we'd all love to have those donors who just want to be our donors, but we usually find that the donor has, because they are charitably minded, they're going to pick more than one.
Right,
and
right.
That's fine.
How about finding student philanthropists? How are you all going about doing that, since you've got about 10 weeks left? Have you more or less nailed some of those down or narrowed some of those down, Greg?
Sandra Cole is our point guard on that. She is going to the colleges in the community and finding recommendations from counselors. But it's also an easy thing to look at some of the Eagle Scout projects that have been going on.
Great.
That's philanthropy.
Yeah.
So I think that will be a classification that will have lots of candidates.
Oh, I bet. You think not only of all the colleges and universities here locally, but as you said, some of the high school and even younger students. That covers a wide swath.
Yeah, sure.
A very wide swath. And then obviously the individual philanthropists. When you think about the corporate philanthropists, to focus on area companies that are making a big difference.
And they have. I just recently saw where BB&T gave the Waccamaw Community Foundation $1 million.
Yes.
Wow, that's an impact.
Absolutely. And Mike Gerald, who's been so active with Coastal Federal, formerly now BB&T, and the Waccamaw Community Foundation, that entire group, Jonathan, I'm sure is thrilled. And all the folks that support WCF.
Yeah.
Great group. You know, when you think about it for yourself, Greg, wrapping around and supporting one or a couple of different, being involved as an administrator in hospitals, and then going out and helping to form foundations for hospitals, what do you think drives you? What's given you that push to get so active in supporting foundations. Obviously, that's been a form of great philanthropy on your own part.
Greg, 20 years ago when I decided it was time for me to go out and do something on my own, and I chose fundraising and really didn't have the passion for it at the time. It was more, let's support the family. But as you get involved and you see the works of people, the differences they've made, and the huge benefits that philanthropy can have, you just want to stay a part of it. You get excited, you get charged up, and you want to start giving back. This is my opportunity to give back.
Yeah. Your kids have gotten the bug from you as well, a little bit from Dad. Yeah.
My kids have taught me how to be a philanthropist. Yes, they
to their charities. Yeah.
But I'm getting to the point where I'm getting ready for them to start giving back.
Yeah. Good words. That's great, Greg. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
You're quite welcome. Thank you, Greg.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with the Vice President of the Coastal Chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals, Gregg Watters, coming up next. What a great to hear Greg say we're all involved in philanthropy. We're all philanthropists of one sort or another. To hear that average of 11 different charitable groups that you're supporting every year that you may not even know. It was just so great hearing him say some of those, reminding you of the buying some Girl Scout cookies or giving to your place of worship or making a difference in the lives of others and not thinking you're serving as a philanthropist. What about being an outstanding philanthropist? Think about that. A real focus on a day as special as National Philanthropy Day coming up on Thursday, November 15th. But making a difference in a group and then getting other people involved in that group and going the extra mile and giving of your time and your resources to support that group. That's what an outstanding philanthropist is. You're doing it every day. You probably don't even think about it. There's others that recognize that, and you've got an opportunity to be highlighted. Get out there, even if you're not one of the honorees that day, to support honorees and support all philanthropists day in and day out. 235-2727. Gregg Watters. How often do we have guests that give out their home number? But also a great opportunity to go online, www.afp.org, to learn more about the Association of Fundraising Professionals. And you think about a group as small as this, just getting started, 15 or 16 folks. We've got one of them here on a Monday and another one of those 15 or 16 later this week on Thursday. Catch Carol Beaudry from Mercy Hospice, who'll be with us on Thursday.